something you might consider to do, like small business owners around Brighton, for example. Actually, why don't I do Brighton? Because if they come to me, I'll send them to you, so that's all right. What? Oh. Did I just delete that off? Twat. Right. Start again. Right, here we go. So, let's go with Brighton. Yeah, they might like my website in Brighton. Detailed targeting. So I'm going to go small business. Let's see what we've got. What options? Small business, Saturday. Oh, that's quite interesting, yeah. Small business owners. They have to say that they're small business owners. Let's have a look. See what options there are. The options aren't amazing on here, but sometimes they're the best you've got. But why don't I look at maybe page owners? Facebook page admins. Small business owners. People who list themselves as a small business owner. Do people that we want to speak to list themselves as a small business owner, though? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't.
No, I don't either.
I list myself as an entrepreneur or something like that.
I think, yeah, just...
Entrepreneurship, social entrepreneur, young entrepreneurs. Yeah, it's really difficult to kind of, because the definitions can be quite specific on here, and unless someone's really ticked it. So what I'm going to go is page admins.
Is there self-employed?
Might be. Just have a look. Yep. Only 1,500 there, though. That's interests. Self-employed and loving it. Look at that. Self-employed and loving it. I'm going to go with that. Why not? Okay. 18-year-olds? Yeah, no, they'll think they know it all. My audience is really kind of, I'll go with 35 to, it doesn't matter if it's over 60 anyway. I don't need to leave it as English. Brighton, what did I say, self-employed? Oh, that's not where I'm putting it. Oh. Save it up here. Brighton self-employed. Okay. Now, if I was doing it for something like the Good Life Centre or Trill, because they have quite a large audience, I'd probably add a connection type here and include people that are friends with people who like the page so that there's an additional connection, because there would still be enough of a certain type of group. So, for example, I might find people who have expressed an interest in sewing in London, but because that would be quite a lot for the Good Life Centre, I'd then include only people that were friends of people that were friends with, that were linked to people that were friends of the Good Life Centre, so that when they get my ad, they'll also see that they're friends of the Good Life Centre, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So there's a bit more of an additional connection there, but because my page is so tiny, that would just reduce my audience to nothing. So at the moment, I've got potential audience fewer than 1,000 people. That's not quite enough really to do anything with. So let's see what else, if I can up that any more. Self-employment. Okay, I'll self-employed. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to go with self-employed and see what that gives me. Just over 8,000 people. That's still quite a small audience, but I'll see what happens with that. Okay. So with the Good Life Centre, I'm usually looking at like 200,000 as the audience, for example. So I've created that audience there. Now what I'm going to do is create an ad that serves that audience. And then afterwards, I'm going to create an ad that retargets anyone that came to this page. So I'm trying to send people to this page as a have a look and check me out. And anyone that's been to that page, I'm then sending another ad that says, hey, you checked me out. You want to come and chat or something like that, you know? I'm being very basic about it. So I'll just go to create ad. And for this one, because it's quite a new market, I'll just go for traffic. And I'm going to go for, call it Brighton Power Hour Traffic. And I'll just call that the same up there. Brighton Hour traffic. I'm going to use a saved audience, which is my Brighton one. And I'm going to make that £1. Automatic placements, you can remove it if you don't want them on certain places, but automatic is fine. I did go through a phase last year of having a completely different ad for every single audience, and whilst that is an amazing way of doing it, I cannot in any way justify the time that takes to manage. That's just some deep level shit that not a single client is paying nearly enough to. Optimize for delivery, switch to landing page views. I don't know, I think it's all, I'm not sure I see a big difference between these two, to be honest, landing page views and link clicks. I'm just going to stick with link clicks at the moment. So that's all I need to do there. Daily budget is £1, run my ad continuously, and then I come to creating the ad itself. So I'm going to take the URL from this page, first of all. I always start with just a single image ad to start with. So once you've got that created, it's easier to go and duplicate them if you want to do different variations. But again, I'm talking to you here, Jane. Don't go down that role of having this versus that versus this versus that. Just get one done to start with. Okay? Then I need to put my page up. Oh, here we go. Change your page here. So my outsourced marketing team, Instagram account is Michelle Purse. So yeah, up here is where you change which page this ad is relating to. You'll probably only have one. I've got loads, but I've got various different ad accounts as well. So right, I can't have that because it's full of text. So I'm also gonna I often nick the text from a page as well, just to dump on there and see how it looks. So image, that image is no good because it's full of text. I need to pick an image, or maybe just pick one of me, maybe. Be a bit weird, but I quite like the graffiti ones. That one.
It's very Brighton.
Isn't it? And it's also the same image that's on my website, so actually there will be. Right, headline. Marketing power hour. Right, so if you're a bit confused about marketing your small business, look, a one-to-one power of me and I'll help you to move forward. Pick my brains, use my experience to help you start marketing your business. That'll do. No idea whether that'll be successful or not. Who fucking knows? No one can tell you any of those things until you start doing them. That's it. That's done. That ad is done. That's how it will look on various different things. I'm not going to fanny around with that anymore. I'm just going to confirm it and launch it. 5 minutes. So I think the most important thing when you're doing these is actually finding the right audience. So that'll do its thing and tell me whether it's approved or not eventually. Then what I'm going to do is create a new audience to retarget people that have been on this page. There probably won't be that many of them because my website traffic is tiny, but it will show you how to do it. So I need to create new audiences. So go back to audiences. This is my favourite kind of targeting, actually, because you're really creating people that have already got knowledge of you. So you go to, it's called a saved audience. And detailed targeting. Is that what I want to do? I can't remember what I'm doing. No. Website there. No, behaviour. Thank you. Right. Who recently lived? No, not that location. Create new custom audience. Yes. So, under custom audiences, go to create new. Custom audiences reach people who've already interacted with your business. So click on that, and then go to website traffic. With the Good Life Centre, I sometimes do 90 days because some of their courses are quite expensive, you know, like over 1,500 quid or £2,000. So I think people go back and forth a bit. So I do on theirs, because I can do this on theirs, I do website visitors on a certain landing page. So, or keywords, actually, you can do this. Who visited specific web pages that contain, and I put things like, woodwork or carpentry so that it covers all of the woodwork courses, and then I can exclude people that have been on the thank you page, so therefore haven't purchased. Does that make sense?
Nice.
So as far as I'm still concerned, they're still on the market. I can't do any of that with mine because it's not an e-commerce site. So what I will do is put in my Power Hour URL in there. This one will say there'll be like one person in the last 30 days or something. Name your audience, Power, I'm going to call this Power Hour Web Page Visitors, Web Page Visitors. Or if you could create another account. You've got a different profile you can use? No? Okay, we'll come back to that in a minute. So I'm going to create, I'm just going to say done here and end that. Website, I want to name that audience, Power Web Page Visitors. Oh, I see, that was just the name of the page. Include people match at least one of the following. I don't need any other demographics really, because if I'm targeting the right people in the first place, but I could change that there. But honestly, there's going to be so few people on this page, it doesn't really matter. Oh. Where is that?
Top row, no?
Oh yeah, there we go. So I've got that there. Okay, that'll take a while to populate. It'll take a really long while to populate because there'll be hardly anyone on it for me. But so that's ready then to create an ad. So I can go to Ads Manager. You could still put the pixel on your other website, Jane, because you can use these URLs to create audiences, so it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? You could put the pixel that you've got on the Lens Lounge.
Yeah.
The Lens Lounge, you could still put it on Jane Allen Photography, because you're going to create audiences by using the unique URL of the website anyway. Unique pages.
Okay.
So if you want to target someone that has visited your branding page, it doesn't matter that you're sharing the same pixel as Jane Allen, as the Lens Lounge, because you'll never just target anyone that visited those websites. We'll always be more specific about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so then you could still have someone that's visited janeallen.photography.com. We could create an audience from them. And creating audiences today is something that I'd recommend for everyone. So now I'm going to create a new ad, create. And now, this is where you left off. Oh, no, I don't need that. That's already going. Now, I could go for conversions or engagement, but I've got no real way of measuring that on my website, so it kind of doesn't matter. So I can just go back and do traffic. It makes no difference. So what I'm going to do now is Power Hour retargeting traffic. And here I'm going to use a custom audience. So I'm going to use a saved audience, which is Power Hour website visitors. This is going to come up with less than nothing. Audience definition not yet available. But that's what I do. Then again, I go automatic placements, £1 a day, set continuously, and just leave it at that and carry on and go through to the creative. It might not let me because I've got enough. Oh, I need to give that a name. Our retargeting. Why won't you let me? Is it because my website's not big enough? Might not let me. Should. Yeah, here we go. So change. I don't know why this always defaults to the bloody Good Life Centre, but it really does. Every time. I've done the whole campaigns for the wrong page before. So frustrating. Okay. So for this, for example, an idea would be to record a little video saying, especially because I'm kind of like, I want people to have a Skype chat with me, I might record a little video here saying, hey, if you're interested in, getting to grips with your marketing, if you're feeling a bit stuck, I'd love to have a chat with you. Click the link below and book a power hour with me. So I'd actually might upload a video for that. But I'm not going to, because I'm just trying to finish this for today. So I'm going to go back to this page again. I'm bringing them right back to the same place. Headline. What do we need to talk about? Your marketing. Just taking some different text for the purposes of this. Oh yeah, I forgot you can change these call to actions as well. So I'm going to change that one to book now. I think my last one was on learn more, wasn't it? I don't exactly remember. I'm going to have to change that picture because it would never get... maybe choose a different one. It would never get approved with that amount of text on it. Why don't I use the opportunity?
Sorry.
Go on.
Is there a reason you use camel case when you do your headlines? You start each.
Yeah, just to differentiate it slightly. I've played around with lots of different ways, and I cannot tell you that one works more than the other.
I've that image I've altered to take the L out. I must send it to you.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. Thanks.
Some good photos. Oh.
Use that one. Oh, I don't know why this is so difficult, but I think something a bit closer up. Look a bit serious there. Oh, I know the ones I like.
I love those ones.
Do you?
I love the colours.
I do quite like the colours there, but I want something where I look into the camera. I think. Oh God, Michelle, stop fucking dicking around on this. This is what other people.
I think when the ones where you're at your desk.
Do you?
Or at a table, yeah, because it's more like we're going to sit down and have this conversation, and this is where I'll be, kind of thing.
Can I use that, or is that too in a cafe?
Perfect.
All right. There we go. I don't like to overthink these things, especially when I'm in them. Oh, gorgeous photos, Jane. They really are.
I never thought about how doing Facebook advertising you would need photos of yourself.
I think when you're doing something like when it's a one-to-one, it's really important.
It's just helping me to see more reasons for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew you'd need it on social media, but I never thought about the adverts.
Right, done. That's a whole campaign.
It's impressive. I got to say, I'm a bit lost, but in the rewind, this will be.
Rewatch it slowly. The most important thing is defining your audiences, and so the first one is who do I want to talk to? So that might be page owners, small business owners. It might be like, let's think about Michelle Thole. It might be personal trainers in North London, for example. Then an ad to bring them to a page that talks to them. And then a retargeting ad using an audience that you create of people that have visited that page by using the URL up here. So that they've already had one little taste of you, and now you're going to send. You can also do things like send them back to a different page entirely, but I mean that's just layering it up. There's no need to get quite so complicated initially.
I'm trying to figure out how it would work. Say, for example, if I was trying to advertise to people who might need speech therapy services around Cambridgeshire.
Okay.
How would I do that? How would I find them as an audience?
Okay. Tell me about. Would they be looking for themselves?
No, they probably have somebody looking on their behalf. So say their mum or dad or other relative has had a stroke, or has Parkinson's or that kind of thing. They would be, or they might be looking for themselves. Or
So they might. They're most likely. This is a bit tricky with groups at the moment, but they're probably going to be members of some group support things. Like my mum has an acoustic neuroma, and she is a member of the Anna Acoustic Neuromas Are Us group, or whatever that is. But they might also then support charities like Parkinson's charities and things like that.
yeah.
So you're going to have, in the beginning, you have to start a bit vague and start figuring it out if you're getting the right audience. A couple of the other things you can do is people that you know are looking, is look at their profiles.
Yeah.
And see what they're connected to and what pages they like. And it might be that they're parents and are members of these pages. At the moment, you can't target people that are members of groups, but that's got to change. Otherwise, what's the point of it all?
Can you target people that are following pages? Because I've heard that you can do this, but
Yes, but only a page. If it's not your page, you can only do that if their page is of a certain size.
okay.
So, like, if it's, I don't know, I think like Marie Forleo, for example, you could probably target people that follow her page, but you wouldn't target people that are members of her group. But what you can do, like I said to Liz, is you can go and find those customers and look at some of the things that they are looking at. So you have to do a bit of detective work on it, really.
Yeah.
But
So, for example, the Stroke Association has a page with a massive,
exactly.
so I could do people who like or follow.
If it's big enough that you're able to do that. But just looking at some of those keywords as well, sometimes when you just pop them up, they'll give you some ideas, and sometimes it's sticking your finger in the air and hoping for the best. But that's why I like using your website URLs to retarget audience members. You can also do lookalikes. So once I've got a group of people, so for example, Liz, if you do speech therapy Cambridgeshire and you're starting to pick up some website traffic, you know, you create a target audience based on people that have visited your webpage and have a Facebook profile, and then you're going to start to create those audiences. Then you can find some lookalike people from that as well. It's harder when it's niche, for sure, but it's not impossible. I just have a look at all those ones I set up at the beginning of the week. We can have a look to see how they're doing now. So these were the Trill ones are harder because then I've really niched down with their audiences, so they've probably not got enough information yet. So for their big results, but let me look at breakdown. Oops. Go away, breakdown. Engagement. Let's have a look, see if we've got any engagement going on. No, I did have yesterday, so something not quite right there. Sometimes it just doesn't load. Let's go with the Good Life Centre. There's always stuff going on there. So these are the ones I set up for them. So I reuse that one, so that's not the initial spend. But so let's have a look at the restoration conversions, website traffic. I've spent so nearly £12 to get 1,000 impressions. cost per thousand, frequency reach. Let's just have a look at performance, which is the default. So I've got these scheduled for conversions. So it might take 2 weeks, but when we get conversion, it's worth 175 quid. So that tends to have, that's quite a bit of a long-term strategy, but it does tend to work. What I am going to do is probably next week is go through and do some ads for new audiences, because they're also really successful in London for the Good Life Centre. Like, people that have never interacted with us before buy quite quickly. So that's always good, but I wanted to just get these ones up and running. So let's have a look. So you look at the DIY ones over time. I've had 39 course bookings from that ad, which at a cost, so if you consider that it costs £175 for a course and it's costing £14.21 to lure them in, that's a pretty good return on
That's a
investment
great
for that.
ROI.
It's really good. You can't always work that out with it. You know, this is for conversion specifically, and it doesn't take into account people that come back months and months later and stuff like that, you know. But let me just dive into one of those a bit. I've got 2 ads actually going on there. So I've got video ad, and I've got a DIY ad with no text on there. So that's when I do some comparisons, when I've got quite a lot of information to work with. But initially, just get it going. Don't worry too much about it. And I can see here how they're doing. So the DIY ad with no text has created 3 bookings. And currently the video one, none. But that was put up quite recently.
Cool.
So, and this is an old ad that's been running. The others are quite new. But don't confuse yourself by doing comparison ads and stuff in the beginning. Just do one for new traffic and one for retargeting traffic initially, and just leave it like that. Does that sort of make sense, or will it do on a slow read back?
Slow read through.
Slow read through, yeah. Just start with audiences. Just create some audience of people that have visited your page. It's also quite fascinating to see if people are visiting your pages that are connected on Facebook, you know. So, for example, these are saved audience, basketry. Let's do upholstery. Upholstery is always a good one. Saved audience was, I think I just saw 59,000. Yeah, the size of the audience is 59,000.
Right.
That's the benefit of having a business in London.
Yeah.
And that's people that have visited in the last 90 days. That's visits to the site in 90 days.
Cool.
200,000 for basketry. Audience so furniture making, yeah, that's full-time furniture making. That one's very small, so we hardly get any traffic on that site. That being said, there are only 2 places a year available on that, and they're always booked out. So it just goes to show that sometimes it doesn't matter. You know. Cool. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
My work here is done.